Hey Good Lovers, it's Katrina from the Good Love Project, and today is day 24 of my 30 days of medibation. So, medibation is a term coined by Annie Sprinkle. It's a solo, tantric, sacred sexuality, mindful sexuality practice, and it means meditation plus masturbation. So I've been doing a daily practice for 30 days. Well, there's been a few breaks in there, but I'm still going for the full 30, and I'm almost there. And for this last leg of my journey, I want to talk about working through emotions and using medibation as a tool for emotional healing and processing your feelings. So talking out your feelings is great. It's one of the best ways that I've found to work with a lot of my stuff, whether that's through talk therapy or just sitting down with a beloved and trusted friend that can hold space for you. Another way to work with your emotions is through the body, sometimes called somatic emotional release. So somatic means of the body. And as I mentioned in my video on day 19, there's a saying, your issues are in your tissues. So in other words, we carry our emotions in our bodies. And likewise, we can also find healing for our emotions through our bodies and release through touch, through sensation, whether it's massage, whether it's through sex, whether it's through medibation, cuddling, whether that's with a friend or with an actual professional cuddle therapist. So today in the next couple days, I'm going to be working through some emotion in my sessions. And today I decided to start with shame. So shame is our fear of being judged, of being deemed unworthy and unlovable because of something we've done, a way that we think, or some other quality about ourselves. Shame is truly one of the most toxic emotions that we have to deal with. And it blocks us from fully embracing the things that we desire in life. And it often blocks us from being able to communicate with our partners, particularly in a sexual arena. So perhaps you have a particular desire or fantasy, even if it's not something that you really feel like you want to act out, but just something that comes up in your mind that you like to think about. And you have either been actively shamed for it or have shamed yourself for it. You can use medibation as a way to release that shame. And so that's what I decided to actually wrote out a meditation for myself, working with my body and body sensation. And so I started, with the usual way that I start my sessions. I lit my candles, burned some sage, got really comfortable in my nest, in my little mini temple. And then I started by just placing hand over heart. And rather than have my other hand right on my genitals, I actually decided to place hand over my pelvis, between my hips. So kind of over sacral chakra, or between sacral and stomach chakra area. And just sinking into my breath first. So slow and deep. Belly breathing, really getting into my body, getting calm. Because when we start to work with our emotions, intentionally digging things up, sometimes that can cause some anxiety. It's that icky, sticky stuff that we don't want to feel it. We don't want to look at it. But we need to. So calming and creating a sense of safety within the body first. Then once I was feeling really calm and safe, I began to just touch and stroke and kind of give loving touch to my body. Again, just further rooting and cementing that feeling of you are safe, you are in a loving space. And then moving to stimulating myself sexually. And focusing my energy and my breath, again, in sacral chakra, because that's sexual, and solar plexus chakra, because that's our personal power, our will. And shame, especially shame from the outside, shuts that down. You know, think about when someone has shamed you for something, it almost feels, like a punch in the gut, right? Because that's where it's hitting us, is in the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus is our light. It's our bright city of jewels. And when you're shamed, when you're shut down, it tries to turn that light off. So that's where I focused my breath and my sensations in sacral and in solar plexus chakra. And then stimulating myself, not all the way to orgasm, but just to a good, strong arousal, and then seeing what fantasies or thoughts came up. And I picked a fantasy that I've had for a while that I have never fully, that I've never really gotten to experience. And I don't know if I ever will, but maybe. And that thought was on like being the center of a one-woman, all-male group sex scene, or what some people might call a gangbang. I don't really like the term gangbang. I really wish that we could find a more empowering term, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll figure that out once I've worked through my stuff around it. And so, you can pick a desire that maybe you feel embarrassed or too shy to talk to your partner about. Maybe you've yet to find a way to ask for this thing that you want. Bring it up in your mind and notice how it feels in your body when you think about it. Yes, it turns you on, so it probably feels hot, but it may also cause some fluttering in your heart, a tightening in your stomach, maybe like a weight in your chest, that fear, that anxiety of like, am I going to be rejected for this? So notice, without judging it or without, getting upset with yourself for feeling that shame, but just notice how it feels in your body. And then you can have a conversation with that desire. You can give it a name if you want to, hi Bob, or whatever. You can just say, hello desire. And so as you're continuing to stimulate and hold yourself in this place of arousal physically, hello desire, I see you, and you are beautiful. You are a part of what makes me human, and I embrace you. I forgive myself and others for judging you. I give myself permission to embrace that which I desire. We are worthy of love and respect. And of course, if you want to add other affirmations to that, something that fits specifically around what your fantasy or your desire is, you can. But that short conversation you can have with yourself. And you can go through it, run through it a couple of times. And then notice, how does it feel in your body? What changes? Does something open up? Is there something underneath that you need to speak to as well? And this practice may be painful, especially when you first begin. So, but if the feeling of resistance or discomfort comes up, again, just notice. If it gets really uncomfortable, stop the conversation, place the thought of your desire to the side, and just come back to breath. You can even stop stimulating yourself and just place hand over sacral chakra and over heart, or over your belly and over your heart. And just come back to yourself and settle. And then when you're ready, you can either continue or you can close your ritual and come back to it for another time. My experience of it was actually really good. I did definitely feel that like tightening in my stomach thinking about this idea that gets me hot, but that I don't like talking to my partners about because I fear that that they might judge me or shame me or tease me. But it did feel really good to be able to speak to it and to give that part of myself that is curious and playful and that yearns for maybe something that's a little different. Being able to give that part of myself love was really healing and felt really good. So that was my session. I will create a separate video with just that guided meditation. That's just a little taste of what some of the sessions in the 30 days of Medibation challenge are going to be like. So I'll be launching that challenge in another couple weeks. I'm still finishing writing and videoing them all. So if you're interested in getting on board, starting your own practice of mindfulness and sexuality, starting your own solo Tantra practice, or just kind of seeing what this is all about, I'll leave a link for the email list. It is free. It'll be a free challenge. And yeah, I've got 6 more days to go. We'll talk about emotions. We'll talk about manifestation. It's going to get really good and juicy in this last leg of the journey. So I hope that you come with me. And until next time, keep on good loving. Bye.